T-minus 90 seconds and counting. All systems are go. We're about 90 seconds from the launch of Space Shuttle Discovery. T-minus 60 seconds and counting. We are transferring to orbiter internal power at this time. Discovery is now running off its 3 onboard fuel cells. Coming up on a go for auto sequence start. And we have a go for auto sequence start. Discovery's onboard computers have primary control of all the vehicle's critical functions. T-minus 17 seconds and counting. 15, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, start, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, returning to the space station, paving the way for future missions beyond.
Separation confirmed. Guidance now converging. Discovery's onboard computers commanding the main engine nozzles to swivel, aiming the shuttle for its precise target in space for main engine cutoff.
You have a good forward leg now in SM.
Dan, you sound good.
Discovery Houston, negative return.
Copy, a negative return. Morning, you filthy apes. Welcome to AMC and ADD, where we buy, we hold, and we screw the hedges. Screw the hedges. Good morning. I don't know. I've got a lot of problems on my side. I'm getting a lot of errors over here. I've got to change up something. And I have to change the backdrop. I've got a new picture put up, but I'm not going to put it up right yet. Good morning, guys. I know if any of you guys are like me, or gals, or apes, if any of you are all like me, you couldn't wait to see this morning's pre-market data. Maybe you might have gotten up a little early. You might have looked at it. You might have said, I don't care what price is. That volume. Oh, I love that volume. Some of you guys are talking about the title, The Great Dump. I almost just left it just at The Great Dump. I was like, nah, too many people are going to be like, what do you mean The Great Dump? We're doing great. Well, I put a hyphen in there and said the market. I'm talking about the market, not necessarily AMC and GME. There might be a little bit of downswing coming our direction. So let me show you what it is that I'm seeing. Pip says, I just look over and Pip's like, who slept? I'm on coffee cup number one. I have the glasses on already and I haven't cleaned them. This is how you know I've already been up and awake and looking at things. We're gonna have to clean the glasses first thing. We gotta clean the glasses. It's like the Mr. Rogers putting on the shoes and the sweater. It's just something you gotta do. It's part of every day. You gotta get prepared. Prepare yourself. I want to show you guys some really interesting data. Very, very interesting data. And I'm not just talking about volume. I'm talking about the market. And I think you guys need to see this. Forrest Dump would have been a better title for today. Oh, man. Except for my wife wouldn't like that. That's one of her favorite movies. Oh, did he really? That's awesome. Well, I need to get a hold of Pantheon and get him for an interview. So maybe I can find a way to get a hold of him. All right, glasses are clean. That's awesome that he spoke highly of me. That's really cool. I haven't really had a chance to meet Pantheon yet. I would really like to get a chance to get to know him. PC3, formerly known as Peter C. Okay. I was listening to Pantheon and he was singing the praises of Casey Shot. Wow. That's cool. I might need to go check that out. All right, here we go. Let me show you some data here. We got the glasses on. This is really crazy. So some of you guys always wonder, like, did I update Fidelity yet? No, I almost did by accident because I wanted to beat you guys to the punch and be like, hey, guess what, guys? I updated Fidelity. I was this close. You guys almost got me into refreshing something. If I refresh this, you would have died because you got to see this information. Check this out. Craziest thing you'll see in your whole life. We look at it every single day, and I want you to just notice this. These are the top highest traded stocks according to Fidelity. I almost like I stuttered when I said it. Fidelity. When it's all over, guys, we're gonna have like post-traumatic stress syndrome. It's gonna be like we went through war. Fidelity. Look at these numbers. Do you guys see this at all? Like, is this registering? I hope you guys can see this. What do you see odd about this as I scroll down this list here of the top most traded stocks in the entire market? Do you see anything unusual? I want to see the first person who guesses what it is. I'll give you a free movie ticket. Anything. What do you see unusual about the top 30 here? What do you see unusual about the top 30 stocks traded in the entire market on Fidelity? Anything? Anyone? I'm just specifically looking at the buy-sell ratio. Yes, Danny got it. Danny, contact me on Twitter. More selling than buying. Yes, you see, you see, you see. Your eyes are open. Your eyes are open. There was only two. There was only two that had a major, major jump over 50%. It was Berkshire Hathaway Incorporated. It was Berk B, not Berk A, but Berk B, their smaller one. And Zim Integrated Shipping Services. I had to know. I was like, wait a minute. I can understand the Berkshire Hathaway. That one makes sense to me. Who's Zim Integrated Shipping Services? Who is that? Who is Zim Integrated Shipping Services? It's an Israeli company that does shipping services around the world. Guess who's protecting their wealth? They're moving their money. You know what it means. You know what it means. I told you after the great pump comes the great dump. This is it. You're seeing it right here before it actually hits the markets. All the way down the list. Everybody. AMC's in here, GME's in here, Google's in here, you name it. Nike's in here, Facebook's in here, Microsoft's in here, Apple's in here, Amazon's in here, Spy's in here, Alibaba's in here, GME, I already said GME, Nvidia, AMD, Tesla, everybody. They're in here. They're out. But Donkey Kong's got it. They're out. The great dump is upon us. You don't see this. This is history. This is history being made right here in front of your eyes. I don't know that I've seen anybody talking about this. Got to keep your eyes open. See what's really happening. Look at that. Insane. So Gnosis says, for the first time we see a real sell-off and we're going up. Why? If retail, because you know this is retail. Retail's selling. For the most part, retail is selling in here. So how is it could be the opposite? And it's because institutions are pumping. They're pumping before the dump. They're absolutely pumping these stocks before the dump. So when I tell you guys that I know when you're selling, I can see it. I can see it. I see it before it happens. You can see it too. We can all see this. The numbers don't lie. I was doing this and you guys couldn't even see me. I was saying, I can see you. I can see you. I can. I can see it. We're excited about this pumping of price. I think there's going to be a little bit of a dump before we actually see real big gains. We might see some gains first, like some initial pumping up some more before we drive back down. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see that 10% SSR trip, not maybe today, but maybe tomorrow. I think today might be a sidewards kind of trading day. with high volume. Perhaps Thursday we see the SSR trip. Or if we do go, whatever we go up today, I don't think we'll go up in the aftermarket hours tonight. That's probably the more likely scenario. So if we go up today, whatever we close at, we probably won't do much in the after hours today because they need to drop the price by 10% to trip SSR before we start ripping on Friday. That's my timeline. I want to show you guys one more thing. I want to show you one more thing. There's only 60, according to my numbers right here, it says there's only 62 people in here. I imagine it's most of the people here that I care about the most. No, I'm just kidding. I care about all you guys. But the people who are most religious about coming onto this channel and watching, I want to show you guys one more thing. I'm going to share this with you, I think now. I was going to wait a little bit, but I kind of want to share it with you now. I'm excited. It made me feel good. I like being right. So let me show you something real quick here. You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe me, but I knew that if I didn't do this particular way that you wouldn't be able to believe me. I gave you guys a clue. I gave you guys a clue that this was coming. Right here. On 3/8, let's pull up the calendar. On 3/8, I had a show titled X marks the spot. And maybe you guys remember the riddle. I said, he who likes to make riddles does X mark the spot, or something along those lines. Do you guys remember that? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I said, for he who likes to make the riddles does X mark the spot. I was referencing Adam Aaron. I was referencing he who likes to make riddles is Adam Aaron, and I was referencing X marking the spot. It's not the VIX. Let me look for the date. The day that I had that show was on 3/8. If you guys remember, there was another show that was called Paul Revere's Ride, and that was on 2/23. So let me pull up the calendar. 2/23 is right here. On March 3rd, a week and 1 day later after the Paul Revere's Ride show, Adam Aaron posted a tweet with a picture of Batman and a baseball bat with the Red Sox sign on it. And I think I may have mentioned to you guys that it was interesting that the Paul Revere story took place in Boston, and that was there was a lot of history to the Paul Revere ride going on. So I started kind of putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, and I started to think there might be a chance he's watching the show. I'm not sure, but he may be picking up some stuff. And I thought there was a chance that maybe he was indirectly speaking about the Paul Revere show, or title at least. And the Redcoats are coming. And so March 8th, I posted the riddle, for he who likes to make riddles, does X mark the spot? And I want you to show you something. March 8th is 2 weeks before March 22nd. 2 weeks. But that wasn't the date that I was shooting for. I wasn't shooting for March 22nd. That was just kind of an oddity. The date that I was shooting for, the date that I thought that this was all going to start kicking off, was the 18th. I didn't want to say anything to you guys because I figured if I threw out dates, you guys wouldn't believe me, or I might, get backlash or something like that. The date I threw out was the 18th, and the reason that I threw out the 18th is because there was a movie that came out. There was a movie that came out on the 18th called X, and that's why I titled the show X Marks the Spot. Does X mark the spot? I just want to throw that out there. Let's take a look at our numbers. It's about time. I'm only going to say that one time. I'm not gonna bring that up again. That's just my gift to you guys to let you know that I drop you guys little hints here and there all the time in different things that I say and do. Hopefully you pick up on it. If you do, great. If you don't, I hope my hope is that it's subtly in the back of your mind and that it will trigger something inside of you at some point or another. But I don't want to get backlash from the community, so let's take a look at some numbers here. You're welcome, Tim. Let me update Fidelity now that I showed you guys that. I'm going to take a screenshot of this real quickly before I update it, Fidelity, because I want to have this as records. I think this is a really important record to have. So give me just a second here. There's some specific points in time where I like to save documentation of significant events that occur in our history. I would hope you guys are doing that too. You guys should have some kind of memorabilia, things to remember as you're going through. I mean, think about it as like maybe like tokens of things that you're picking up along the way. I like to think of people who traveled west on um, uh, the gold rush era. I figure as they were traveling along the way, they maybe picked up things, little momentums, souvenirs as they were traveling. You're on a road right now, guys. You're traveling down a road right now, and I want you guys to stop and pick the flowers. Pick the flowers. Find some things, some memorabilia, some moments that you can steal and hold on to, because you're going to want to remember some of these moments. And by the way, Adam Aaron never responded to my riddle, so I think I was just reaching. Let me update Fidelity and we'll take a look at these numbers here. If you guys don't stop and collect memorabilia now, in the future you'll wish you have collected something that helps you remember the moment. It'll mean something to you. It may not mean anything to anybody else in the whole wide world, but it will mean something to you. Maybe you can make a shadow box. Maybe you go out and buy a popsicle today. Remind yourself of when you were a kid. Go out and buy a popsicle and save the stick. So you can remember when you stuck it to, stuck it to the edgies. Maybe you go out and buy a popsicle stick and you throw that into a shadow box. The day when it all started to happen, I ate a popsicle. Do stuff like that. Why not? Live a little. Joe, you got my card? It's a little late, isn't it? Nothing like getting a Christmas card in March. I'm so glad. I actually thought about that last night, and I wanted to ask you. I was going to send you a message last night and ask you, and I was like, no, I'm not going to ask him because it's just going to make him feel bad if it never shows up and it gets lost in the mail or something like that. Um, so I'm really glad that you got it because I think you might have been one of the people that I was afraid that wasn't going to make to the most. So I'm glad you got it. All right, let's take a look at our numbers. First off, I love Eric to death. Oh man, my numbers are gone. Where's all my screens going? There we go. I love Eric to death, but I feel like there's a strong possibility that he's an alien. He's my brother-in-law. He's not my blood. He's not my. I mean, he's my brother, but he's not my brother. Uh, but man, I think he's an alien because dude just keeps getting this stuff right, and it's kind of starting to concern me a little bit. Like, is he? Who is this guy? Eric's the only one that got a price prediction point yesterday. His price prediction was 1540 to 1840, so he got it. Um, I missed it by 26 cents. I had 15 to 18. All the rest of us missed the point. So Eric is the only one with a point price. He saved us again with his 3 week. Is it 3 weeks? 2 weeks? 3 weeks? I think he's starting his. No, he won 3 weeks, or he's been 3 weeks in a row right. So he's won 3 weeks in a row, and he's starting his second day of the fourth week. Like price predictions right, like almost every single day. This guy's insane. He's an alien. Don't take price predictions from me. But he got it right. Insane. Short exempt volume. I already looked at it yesterday. I had to see, so I already know what it is. So I'm not going to be real surprised. You guys might be surprised, but I'm not. I really wanted to know what it was, so I pulled it up later in the evening last night, which you guys can do too. It's really easy to pull. 242.3 thousand. Why? Why is it so high? Volume. That's all it causes it to go up is volume. Let's check out that utilization, see if we're at 100%. I think I stalled long enough to hear where we should be getting some data. Indeed, day 31. 31 trading days of 100% utilization. Day over day price change, 15%. We were up 15.13% up yesterday. On loan average age per day pulling through again. Wouldn't you say? I'd say so. It's a good indicator. It's a really damn good indicator. It does tell you a lot of information. What's next? Off exchange. So the numbers that you're seeing in the off exchange right here next to me, 54 was the last number we saw an hour or around an hour before market close, and 11.86 in the EDGX. I expect to see the number drop. If it's over the 30-day average, I'll be happy. Let's see what it is. 52.56. That's high. The CBOE EDGX not as high as the 30-day average is at 12. I mean, those are still high numbers. The total amount there is 64.56%. That's pretty typical. 64% is very, very typical for where we trade in the off exchange. So that's a very normal number. Moving down to Ortex, you'll see there that the estimated current short share interest of the free float is currently at 21.05 for the day today. We'll take a look at the rest of the Ortex data here in a minute. What am I looking for here? Institutional share ownership, 187.8. Let's refresh that. still the same number, 187.8 million shares owned by institutions, which happens to be 36.35% of the float. Actually, scratch that. I think that's actually the percentage of the total amount of shares that are outstanding, which I believe they're the same number almost. It's whatever. Who cares? Oh, Max Payne, Max Payne. 1550 was the value for both Monday and Tuesday. I'm going to guess that it goes up to 17. Let's refresh. 1650, I was close. I almost wanted to change it too to 1650. I was like, no, it'll be 1650 just to screw with me. Sure enough, there it is. 1650. 1650. All right, let's take a look at these options. Our lottery ticket winners at $40 strike price down here. You're going to see some insane numbers here, guys. Yesterday at a $40 strike price, there was 7,000 contracts. It went up to 11.7. People are starting to gamble. Unfortunately, there might be some people that get burned on this. Too many people trying to get rich quick. Ride the flow. Highest amount of call volume currently at a 20 for open interest is at a $20 strike price. That is up from 18. Yesterday, 18 was the highest amount of volume for strike price. It's now 20. Yesterday, 18, there's 12.1 thousand contracts. At 20 today is 23.6. Just by looking at the $18 strike price right now, hold on a second. Yeah, never mind. I was going to say something, but it's not true. On the put side, highest amount of open interest currently at a $16 strike price. That is up $1 from yesterday. Yesterday it was 15 with 8.9 thousand contracts yesterday. Today it's 16 with 10.1. So there is more than a 2-to-1 ratio in volume towards the calls than the puts. And there's a $5 spread between the two strike prices, indicating that we may close somewhere around 1850 for the day, or for the week, rather. Right now we're at 1826. Oh, I'm sorry, 1920. I forgot the pre-market data. Let me move a few screens over and we'll take a look at some of the rest of the data here. All right. Utilization. Utilization is very, very high. Very high. High as a kite. 100% for 31 days is what this looks like right here. Compared to the past back here, let's see, this started on April 20th and kind of like the ending period of time before it really started dropping was June 3rd. Here's February 8th or 9th rather to, oh, by the way, when I said X marks the spot, that was I titled that show before market open that day. Here's your security lending volume. Your security lending volume happened on February 7th. The X marks the spot was the day in between that and utilization hitting 100%. So I had no idea utilization was going to be 100% when I titled it X marks the spot on that day. But it happened to be the very same day that utilization hit 100%. Because you can't get the Ortex data until 6:30 in the morning. I start the show before then. Let's see. So what are we looking at here? Utilization. Let's look at on loan amount. On loan amount increased from 132.1 to 133.1. So a million shares having a million shares worth of loans going up. And on loan that what that should do to on loan average age per day is maybe make it go slightly level, more just slightly above level is what it should do. Let's see what it does. There it is right there, just slightly above, more than level, increasing from 79.28 to 79.5. When we see this start dipping, countdown timer again, right? You know what's coming. We've got 3 dips right here to account for in price increases. I would say that we've got them all pretty much wrapped up in here. There may be one more price bump up from this drop right here, but I think most of this price movement right here is from these 2 drops on this on loan average age per day right here. The big drop that we're going to see in the future is probably going to be the big one. It'll be the big one, the big biggie. Here's our Ortex's estimated short share interest of the free float, taking a nice little curve upwards as well, ever so slight. Orders by Fidelity customers. This is this morning. GME's number 9th with 47% buys to 53% sales. Tesla, 39% buys to 61% sales. The dump is happening. AMC coming in 12th. This morning in volume, we have 49% buys to 51% sales yesterday. These are yesterday's numbers. This won't update until after market open. Dang it. Hold on a second. There we go. SSR triggers at $16.43. Shares available to borrow. So last night, while we were sleeping, or when we were getting ready to go to bed, they borrowed more shares in the aftermarket hours. I tallied them up right up until about maybe like 11-ish or 10-ish. And it went up as high as 2.85 million shares having been borrowed. Let me just correct my data. So far this morning, let's check and see how much they've borrowed. So we had like I think 250,000 shares, and they borrowed the rest of those, and then returned a few, and then borrowed some more. It was kind of a little bit of back and forth borrowing, probably for this morning. But I did add as much of that as I could. We got 50,000 shares here borrowed, another 50,000, so 100K so far out of the availables. $200,000, so 0.3. Wow. Okay, this is very low. They've only borrowed 0.3 million shares. That is extremely low. Very low. Borrow fee is 1.2. I think the jig might be up. In the money calls, 56.3 thousand contracts are in the money on the calls. 48.7 thousand contracts are out of the money on the puts. This number is well under 100K. I love it. I hope people are making money. I really hope retail's making money. I hope they don't start losing money. Hopefully they know when to get out. And here's the other thing I was going to point out. Let me just show you this real quick. Let's assume for a second, throw up a little calculator here. Let's assume for a second that these in the money options let's say a quarter of them are exercised. That would be just about 14,100 contracts. Add two zeros, that would be 1.409 million, 1,409,925 shares that market makers would be responsible for trying to find on the market. There's a good possibility that some of these people who have in the money options may exercise some of them. I don't know if it's going to be as high as a quarter, but that's a lot of shares that they would have to find. A lot of shares. That could be trouble. Hopefully people are exercising, because that's really how you get a gamma squeeze. Markets on the eastern side of the world, mostly up, a couple down. Not terribly down though. IWM is down 0.51%, Tesla is down 1.28, Amazon is down 0.62, Cinemark is up 4.42, Doge is down 0.48, Bitcoin is down 1.04, GameStop is up 12.73 in the pre-market, HYMC is up 13.74, Hood is down 0.3, and AMC is up 5.91% in the pre-market. Our inflow versus outflow was 13 million more in inflow, 13 million more dollars in inflow. So far we've traded 826,000 shares in the pre-market this morning. I'm gonna have a hard time adjusting back to really high numbers, guys. So you're gonna have to give me like a day or two to adjust. It'll come back to me really quick. Just give me just a little bit of time. I'm probably gonna be really off on my volume predictions. I don't have. This is all in my head. All this stuff is in my head. It's not anything that I don't have any formulas written down anywhere. It's just based off of observations over time, and just in my head. So just give me like a day or two to calibrate. I think I normally say that 1,000,000 shares equates to 1,000,000 shares by 7 a.m. pokey stick of volume equates to is it 200 or 100 million? I think it's 100 million. Maybe it's two. Let me think for a second here. 150 is it's gonna be about 30. It's got to be 2 million. That's got to be 200 million. If we 100 million shares by 7 a.m. pokey stick of volume has got to be 200 million shares traded for the day, I think. So give me a chance to just kind of dial it in. It'll take me a day to recalibrate, but we got plenty of time for me to recalibrate to higher volume levels. It won't take too long. So, but we haven't even hit our 7 a.m. pokey stick of volume, which usually doubles, which means there's a very good chance that we're going to see like 1.6, maybe even 1. We could see 2 million by 7 a.m. That's insane. Those are go numbers. those are totally go numbers. And I'll show you suck, squeeze, bang, blow here in just a minute. On the daily, more buying. There's more. Guess what? There's more buying pressure than selling pressure on the daily interval. 57.5 is RSI, which is just slightly above average. On the hourly, we have more selling pressure than buying pressure with an RSI at 64.83. It looks like it's cooled off in the after hours and pre-market. On a 30-minute interval, we have more selling pressure than buying pressure with RSI at 59.17. So again, it cooled off in the after hours and pre-market. And on a 5-minute interval, we have more selling pressure than buying pressure with an RSI of 42.54, having cooled off in the aftermarket and pre-market. So it's setting itself up for a push. Somebody had contacted me yesterday and said, "What do you think? Do we have a pennant formation happening here on the? I think they said the 30-minute. I think they said either the 30-minute or the 5-minute. I can't remember which one, but I said, yeah, absolutely we do. The only problem is that the market's going to close before it actually gets there. But guess what? The pennant, the pennant actually decided to do what it's supposed to do in the aftermarket hours and went ahead and decided to move up. Uh, this looks like it's a little too long to be a pennant, but it may actually turn into one anyways. It's just like, pre-market, aftermarket hours. It might, I wouldn't say that it has to conform to the rules in these periods of time. So it might actually be a pennant as well, a bullish pennant. Suck, squeeze, bang, blow. Let me go up just a tad bit. Congratulations, guys. We've made it to the blow. Volume was well over the value that I have here. And I was kind of hesitant on the volume that we had at one point yesterday. I'm not hesitant at all on these numbers. The only thing that's a little low to me is maybe the price. And I actually have to correct that because it went up to 18.26. It closed at 18.08 and then had a correction to 18.26, which actually puts it up to 15.13%. And then our total volume for the day over day yesterday, that's a tongue twister, was 77 718,800. So 77,718,800, giving us 127% day over day increase on volume. These are the blow. This is the blow for sure. I mean, it's not like it wasn't hard to figure out on your own. But like I've said in the past, the cycles aren't there to try and predict the future. It's just to let you know where you're at in the cycle. I think one of the things I want to point out to you guys is this. Typically speaking, our cycles for the blow, sometimes they last 1 day. Sometimes they last 2 days. Sometimes they last 6 or 7 days. There's a 5 day. There's a 6 day. There's a 1 day. You never know what you're going to get. But this bang period here from 2-1 all the way up to 322 or 321 is by far one of the largest bangs we have ever seen. This entire cycle has been one of the largest cycles that started on 12/31. This entire cycle started on 12/31, which means the cycle has been lasting for 3 months, almost 4 months. This will probably be the biggest blow we have ever seen. And I'm not trying to be funny. It just happens to be funny, but it is shaping up to be one of the biggest blows we've ever seen because the cycle's so long. And with that, I can see you guys again and see what you're saying. Arya, good morning. I'm not leaving until the shorts have covered either. Trung, what's happening is that on Fidelity, or I mean, sorry, I don't mean Fidelity. On a lot of we've noticed this in the pre-market. Webull just has like a different reporting. So I go off of my numbers because it's something that I'm used to watching. So I understand what it is that you're talking about, but I base my numbers off of Webull every single day. So I go off of what I see. If you've got different numbers, base your numbers or your predictions off of what you're seeing because you're seeing what you see every single day. I just watch this always. So I'm gonna stick to what it is that I see here and make my predictions based off of that. Is the like button broken? Uh, I don't know because something really happened weird with the show today, guys. I started the show and it was telling me that it was not running. So I'm not really sure what's going on right now with this show, why it's not working, but um, I think I might have to stop the show in order for it to work, but I don't care. I don't need likes. Who cares? Sammy's like the blow. All right, I got to post this for you guys. Some of you guys are new here. This is good reading material, but it's going to be a long one for you, so wait till you got some reading time. But I'll post it up for you guys, and you guys can read about it. And I'll just summarize it really quickly and fast. But I wrote I think I wrote a three-part series on Reddit, liking certain cycles that I was seeing um, in our price movements. And I know you guys have heard of cycles before. You've probably heard of like um, why am I'm drawing a blank now. Why am I drawing a blank? Fractal cycles. But what I'm talking about is a little bit different than fractal cycles. It's just a little bit different, and it's kind of a pattern that I noticed inside of volume and price movements within AMC. When you try to take this information and move it over to a different stock to see if you can find the same cycles, it can't be done. It just it just can't be done. So I don't know why. You can't take the same information and transfer over to GME and go like, yep, here's a cycle. But these cycles do exist inside of AMC, and they seem to be very repeatable and they follow rules. So what I just linked you to was my Reddit post for that description on understanding why I'm calling it suck, squeeze, bang, blow. I'm relating these cycles to a four-stroke engine. Um, the link that I just sent you, I don't think has a link to the second one. But this is a three-part series that I wrote. So I'm going to go ahead and include the second portion to this as well. It's funny. I try to make it funny a little bit of bathroom humor, a little bit of not bathroom humor, other kinds of humor. So that link right there is a link to the second portion of it. You might want to just click on that one because I think the second one actually has links to both the first and the third part, which you can just click on and zoom right to it. But there's a lot of really good data in there that kind of supports the idea as to why we're in a cycle, how the cycle works, and why it's not predictive. You never know how long the cycle is going to last. You don't know. It's not, the cycle isn't trying to tell you, oh yes, here you are. You're going to be this much longer before it ends. It's just simply telling you these are very predictive points in time where you see things happen. Crazy Peppy says he can't hear me. Is anybody else having that problem? See, that was the same thing I was seeing. It says, why does live stream say stream off? It's really weird. I don't. It sounds to me like Crazy Pepe is seeing the same thing that I saw when I started up the stream. I'm actually seeing an error on my screen right now that shows there's it looks different. There's something wrong with it. But yeah, Sammy, suck, squeeze, bang, blow. Suck, squeeze, bang, blow. It's 4 stages of a 4-stroke engine. Otto wants to know why there's a surge. So here's the thing, Otto, and I talked about this, I think yesterday or the day before. It's not going to be a popular opinion, but we saw some lower than usual buy to sell ratios starting Monday, right? I do believe that people sold shares, uh, according to Blue and Lou's directions on what they were going to do, and followed suit. And I've said this for a while now. I've always had a sneaking suspicion that retail at some point would sell shares in mass, and when that happened, that it would cause everything to blow up. I've said it for a while. I try not to say it too often because it gets into people's minds that we need to coordinate selling shares, and I think that's absolutely the wrong thing to do because we don't have to do that. We just don't. We don't have to do that. We could have not done that and still had MOASS, and it would have been institutions selling shares, not us. But I've always suspected that a large chunk of shares being sold at market would cause this thing to start blowing up. And so I suspect that, unfortunately, some of the people who sold their shares possibly on Monday are going to miss a portion of this rocket ride. And I do think that that's the catalyst. Some people are saying that it was Ryan Cohen's purchase of shares. Nah, I don't buy it. I'm not buying it. We saw the signs. The signs were pointing towards this Monday. On Monday, we saw Fidelity reporting much lower buy to sell ratios. Yeah, but Donkey Kong just said it. RC purchased a shitload of shares that made GME move. I don't believe it. I don't believe that's what it was. I think it was coincidental. All right, guys, here we go. 7 a.m. pokey stick of volume. Boom. We had 869,000. Oh, this is much smaller than I would have anticipated. We had 869,000 in volume going into this 7 a.m. pokey stick of volume. It looks like it's up to 252 now, so it is increasing. It's definitely going to get us over 1 million shares at 7 a.m., which is what I need to see. Gosh, I want to say it was 100 million shares. Why do I feel like that's 200 million shares? In order to see 200 million shares, we need to see 1 million. We got 250,000 shares, 254,000 shares out of that 7 a.m. pokey stick of volume, putting us at 1.12 million. That's going to be enough to, I think, make 200 million shares traded for the day. Is it 200 or 100? Why is my memory so bad? It's been so long since we've been up this high. I think that's 200 million. Yeah. So when volume gets this high, I normally give myself a 20 million spread, but when it gets over like 100 million, I try to give myself 30 million spread. So I'm going to say somewhere between 190 to 220. And I'm going to be way off today, but that's just because I'm trying to get dialed back into what higher numbers look like. So Sammy says, how does selling cause price increase? That's a great question. If there's high demand for shares, high demand equals, I mean, if you understand supply and demand, if there's high demand and supply starts to arrive, then it's going to raise price, right? Low supply, high demand. When the supply hits, you get an initial bump up in price. And the thing is that the demand for shares isn't going to decrease for a very long time. There's a there's a lot of undoing that needs to be undone. Super low liquidity. So when people sell shares back into the market, it creates high demand. High demand, low liquidity, forced buying, price discovery. The problem is that I don't want people to start thinking that you need to sell shares in order to make the price rise. That's the wrong way to think, because it would have had to been a coordinated effort of a lot of shares being sold all at once. We don't want to go there. I think it's going to go up today, Gary. Whatever we close at today, I don't think it's going to have a big push in the aftermarket and pre-market tonight. The reason I say that is I think there's going to be a pushback on Thursday, maybe. Oh, I can see it, Bill. You absolutely can see that retail's selling. The numbers are not lying. Well, actually, I mean, yeah, no, retail, there was retail that sold. You could see it in the data. You know, guys, I think I need to restart the stream. I obviously had some kind of like errors going into today because I had the same problem when I first started it up, and I think I maybe need to restart the stream or something. Hold on a second, let me check something real quick here. I don't know if that's gonna fix it or not, but we'll see. Every live YouTuber is having the same problem. Something's up. Okay. Well, I definitely noticed a difference when I started up the stream this morning. I was getting an error when I first started, and I was kind of like, wait a minute, that's unusual. So I don't know what's causing it. Yeah. I do have data down here that shows there's 155 of you guys watching, but I have two different places where it shows data, and one of them says 0 and the other says 155. So I know there's a lot of people watching. There was something I was going to show you. Somebody was asking a question, and it made me. I was going to show you something. Oh, Bill had said the thing about retail not selling. I mean, you can't ignore these buy to sell ratios here, Bill. AMC right here is at 49% buys to 51% sells. You can't ignore those kind of numbers. And that was happening yesterday as well. And this is retail. This is orders by Fidelity customers. So you can't ignore that data. But the other part to that is so that tells me that there were definitely people who were following Lou who sold off their shares. The other part to that too is, and I haven't actually checked this myself, but we can always take a look at OBV and see where that stands. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it, why don't we? And just see. Oh, hey, I got a white backdrop there. What's going on? It's because I dragged a screen over. Uh, Ape Father made me a new background. I gotta switch it up here in a few minutes. I gotta put the new backdrop up. Go wait 2 weeks. Let's see here. So let's get rid of this. Let's add in screw the background here. Let's add in OBV. Oh wait, I have it in here. Just kidding. Okay, so OBV is rising. Somebody's buying, but there's conflicting data. And this goes back to what I was telling you about how it's retail. Retail's pushing this buy. Or not retail, I'm sorry. Institutions. Institutions are pushing this buy because our retail data doesn't show that. It doesn't concur with the data that I'm seeing here. We're definitely getting a push up on balance volume, but we're not getting a push up from retail. The data is conflicting. Because if you look across the board, retail is pretty much selling off on almost everything. And yet all these stock prices moved up yesterday. Retail knows what's up. Institutions are pushing. They're driving up the prices so that they can exit their positions, their long positions. I got Monty down for. That's not the right one. Monty, I got you down for 2035 to 2335. And Monty, by the way, when we get up to a certain price, and I haven't really decided what it is yet, I'm gonna give us a wider spread than just $3, just because it's gonna get really difficult for us to guess within a $3 range. And I'll probably do that once we close past 20. TMI can't stream at all. I don't know. I may have gotten on just before because I actually started the stream 2 minutes before 6. And I got an error like as I started the stream, and I'm still getting what appears to be like there's some kind of error going on with the system here. The data reporting is wrong, and I'm getting different kinds of reports here on. Oh, hey, it just changed. Hey, I think they fixed it. Okay. Oh, nope, it went away again. For the first time I saw a fix. It started to fix itself, and then now it's broken again. So they're probably trying to work on it. I mean, you guys don't have to agree with me. It's okay. I mean, we don't have to agree on the catalyst on this. If you want to believe it's Michael Cohen, that's fine. Or sorry, I said Michael Cohen. I meant Ryan Cohen. If you want to believe it's Ryan Cohen, it's okay. It really doesn't matter. I'm gonna have a hard time with price today. Oh, that's okay, PC3. I've got a backup. I've got a Twitch channel called Casey_Shaw. You can check me out there. If that goes down, I've got a Discord that I'll set up, and I'll let you guys know what the channel is through either Twitter or Reddit. So hopefully you guys are either following me or know how to find me. Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that he's down. I mean, they're gonna shut us down. They don't want us. They don't want us talking. I think I called mine entertainment though. I don't know if I'll get hit with financials. Maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe not. I'm pretty small. I'm a small guy. Small fry. Hmm. Wouldn't it be fun if TMI came over here and said hi? That would be really cool. It definitely did not hurt him at all. Yes, this is definitely not financial advice. Good morning, Manjeet. Yeah, so volume prediction for the day today, I'm going to go with 190 to 220. That's just that's kind of my going. I might be on the high side. I'm having a difficult time trying to remember if 1 million shares by 7 a.m. was supposed to be 100 million, but I think it's 200 million. It might even be 250. So just bear with me it's going to take me a day or two to calibrate back to higher numbers, but it won't take me too long. It'll just probably take me a day or two. Yeah, it looks like they just fixed everything maybe just a little bit ago because I saw some numbers change. So he probably was able to start back up. I agree with my mom and label you as a historian. Thanks, man. I really hope I would love to know that at some point in the future that this stream that I've done every single day religiously 9 hours a day um, for the last I don't know 8 months. I would hope that somebody can use it in the future. That's like one of my biggest hopes is that you know somehow historically this will help somebody to see what we had to go through. So yeah, so I know. So here, let me show you guys why I think it wasn't Ryan Cohen. Right? Let me show you something. He announced that he was buying the shares yesterday. This is GME. I'm looking at GME's prices, right? This is yesterday's prices. No rippy rip. This is yesterday right here. No wait. Yeah. This is yesterday right here. No rippy rip until market open, right? It had a little bit of push in the pre-market, but nothing drastic. It went from like 94 to 95. It went up a buck, but the real ripping started right here, right at market open at 932, right? Take a look at that. 932 is when it started ripping on GME. And Michael, I don't or Ryan, I don't know what time Ryan Cohen put out. Let's look at what time he put his tweet out here. Well, who cares? Who cares what time? Because what I'm going to show you next is going to confirm what it is I'm saying that it wasn't Ryan Cohen. So you come over here and you look at AMC, same time frame. This is yesterday. We start ripping like 9:40, 8 minutes later. Actually, you could say that we started ripping right here at 9:32, exact same time. So, I'm not, or you could even look at it and say we started ripping in the pre-market. I mean, we certainly had like a pretty big, decent push up from 1665 to 1611, which is a lot more than their dollar push up at $100. percentage-wise. So I'm just not buying it. I just am not buying that. I don't think that's what it was. And one of the first big pushes was right here. We had a little bit of a dip. This is probably people selling off shares on Monday. And then we started seeing rips ever since. Ever since. Rippy rip. So that's the data that I mean, that on top of the fact that we saw that retail was selling shares based on Fidelity's numbers. There was an exponential increase in data showing that there was retail selling shares. I'm convinced that there's no other thing that could have possibly caused this than that. The idea that Ryan Cohen purchased shares and everything started ripping all at the same time, I'm just not buying it. Refresh my page. All right, let me try it. I don't know. I've never done this before, so let's see what happens. All right, I refreshed my page. It looks like maybe everything's okay now. Not the entire market sell-off, Pip. I wouldn't say the entire market. But I mean, I would say that hmm, I don't know. We might have to go back in time and in the future we might have to go back in time and analyze it some more. I think it's too soon, but it may have been a couple different things that all occurred at the same time. Yeah, everything looks like that. I know. The entire market. I mean, I would venture to say that the when I titled the show The Great Pump, that's when really everything started happening. Hayden's making a math formula over here. Yesterday's date was the 22nd. We ripped 8 minutes later. 22 minus 8 equals 14. 2 weeks. Everything everything comes down to 2 weeks. Hey, guess what half of 14 is? Half of 14 is 7. It's the divine number. Ah, it's the divine number twice. 77. Good morning, Active. Good morning, Rosada. Rosado, sorry. James wants to find me at a coffee shop. Okay. That sounds good. I'm actually gonna have a second cup of coffee today. When I take my break, I'm gonna go for cup number two. And Donald, thank you for the advice. It looks like the refresh may have helped. Oh, I agree completely with what you're saying there, Bill. You'll never, ever, ever hear me say that institutions on our side. None of them. Not a single dang one of those institutions are on our side. It is retail against everybody. The government's not on our side. Institutions are not on our side. Doesn't matter if they're long or if they're short. So that includes the hedge funds, the market makers, you name it. Everybody is against retail. Retail is the only. The funny thing about it is that we're the ones that pump the money into the system. We pump the money into the system, and everybody's against us. It's insane to me. It's absolutely insane. They make their money off of us. They make their money off of us, but they abuse us. They absolutely abuse us. I guess we're done. We're done with that. Good morning, Einstein. Well, the ETFs balanced out about a week and a half ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago. I did, Steven. I did see. I don't know if you sent that. I'm not sure when you sent that, and I didn't really want to talk about it because it's a really sensitive subject. I could really get in a lot of trouble for probably, like things like slander or something like that. Um, so I'm going to keep it really vague. But there is a child sex scandal thing, and apparently there's a hedge fund manager, CEO type who has his name that was identified as one of the individuals who's part of this ring. And his name is something about his name being on the side of a building. A lot of people are making insinuations as to who that is. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. But you can find the information online. I don't even want to post. I don't even want to post it. Well, I've been online for a while, Mohammed, but apparently YouTube was having some issues, and then thanks to David, uh, I refreshed the screen, and apparently that took care of something. Or I'm sorry, did I say David? I meant Donald. Thanks to Donald, I refreshed the screen, and things are working better now. Mohammed, we're gonna have a place that we can all go after this is all over, and we can have discussions. I've got a subreddit that I've created waiting for us after MOASS, and I'm I'm still one of you. We're gonna hang out together, and we're gonna talk about our struggles. We're gonna talk about our successes. Um, we're gonna work together still. We're family. I feel like we spent so much time together. Why not continue? Why not continue to care for each other? You know what I'm saying? So I've got a subreddit set up, and when the time is right, I'll let you guys know where, and we can all go there and talk. And it will be private. It will be private. Admission will cost you $0. All you will have to do is prove that you were an AMC holder or GME holder. You have to prove that you were an ape. The one thing that I'm going to ask though is where the place where we're going is that since it will be private, I don't want to talk about stocks because that could be considered collusion. If you look up the definition for collusion, it's when you talk about things in private. It's okay to talk about stock plays in general public. So I would prefer that we have like a different subreddit where we can talk about future plays in the market. But the privacy of that, I think a lot of people will want that. I think a lot of people will want some privacy after this is all said and done. So we'll have a place where we can meet in privacy and talk about our future. Volume doesn't lie. Somebody asked me this question last night, Watcher. They said, is this real or is it fake? And I said, price can always be manipulated. What you can't manipulate is volume. Volume is real. It's very, very real. And as you can see right now, volume is showing some amazing things. Yeah, John, absolutely. I mean, I'd rather just give you a link. If you let me copy the link from up above. So I'm just going to give you the link to the second post, which I think has links to the first one, and at the end of it, I think it has a link to the third one. maybe. Good morning. Heck yeah. I forgot, guys. It's Wednesday and it's drinky drink day. The wife just came home and she said, "Do you feel like a drink today?" And I was like, "Heck yeah. It's drinky drink day, guys." She's off work. It's her final day at work, so we get to have a drink together. I'm gonna go to break here. So let me post up this I'm gonna post up this link here. This is a link to the second portion of the suck, squeeze, bang, blow kind of theory. Now the problem I just want to stress this really quick. Who was it that asked this? John, and welcome to the family, by the way, John. Um, this is not trying to predict the future. I want you to understand, first and foremost, understanding these cycles and relating them to a four-stroke engine is not me trying to tell you where the future is going to go. It's me trying to tell you that there are cycles that are happening within AMC and in no other stock. I've tried using the same pattern recognition on, say, like GME and some of the other squeeze plays that are out there or meme stocks. You can't find it. It doesn't seem to exist in other plays, but it does exist in AMC and it repeats itself. So it's a long read. What I just linked you to is the second portion. I would start with the first one, and there's a link in it in the second one to the first one. Read the first one. You could stop at the first one and just be done. The second one is there, and there's a third one. Or if you go to my Reddit profile, you'll be able to find all three parts in the history of what I've posted in the past. Um, but it would take me a pretty long time to try to explain it here. Other than what I've just told you, is that each one of the cycles, the four cycles that we see, has a different characteristic to it. And we have just entered into the blow or the bang. Or no, the blow. I'm sorry, the blow, which is the final stage of the four-stroke engine before it goes into a cool down period. Our particular engine has 5 strokes. There's suck, squeeze, bang, blow, cool down. And the interesting thing about this is that I called, what did I call it? Oh yeah. So, and I explained this in the second, I think it was either the second or the third post that I made. Um, Back in the late 20s or early 20s, there was a hit or miss engine. It was a 5-stroke engine. The hit or miss was based off of speed. If the engine was going too fast, it went into a skip cycle where it skipped going back into the 4 strokes again. And if it was just basically like a limiter, and that's what our engine runs like. It runs like it has a limiter on it. So we go into a cool down phase after we hit the blow. The interesting thing about this engine was heavily used in 1920s, the same time when we had a market crash 100 years ago. So it's just kind of an interesting fact. I didn't know that when I came up with the suck, squeeze, bang, blow theory and the cycle of the cool down period. I did not know about a 5-stage cycle engine. And somebody says you do realize that you called it a hit or miss on your indicators for the cycles, and that there is such an engine called a hit or miss engine. I think they call them back in the day, they called them popping engines or something. It made it like, I guess, like a popping sound when it went into the cool down phase or the skip. Duke of Wall Street said, "Oh, Nosa said we should do a rehearsal of the swap to Twitch so we prepare for the channel blackout. Should we? Should we do a rehearsal? We could. Maybe I can do it this weekend. And then also, Manjeet said, Casey, I can't find you on Reddit for private chats, so not sure what you're talking about. Um, you can send direct messages through Reddit. All you have to do is go to the person's profile, and then there's a way to direct message them. Oh, thank you. She just brought me my drink, guys. It's time to take a break. I need to go drink this with her. I'll finish it. It's a large drink. It's rum and coke for those of you who are wondering. This only happens on Wednesdays when it's her last day off. I usually have a drink with her because in our industry that we worked in, that's kind of what people do when they work compressed shift weeks. They go and have a drink. No, Duke, all you'll have to do is just prove that you were an AMC or GME shareholder, not that you are. And don't worry about how I'm going to do that. I have ways. I have ways, and it will be very simple, and it won't be asking very much of you at all. Uh, and if you don't feel comfortable with it, okay. But I feel like I have to protect the community somehow, and the only way that I can feel like I can protect the community is by uh, doing what it is that I can to ensure the people who are in the community are people who are shareholders. So, um, but I have a way that I'm going to do it though. We use the only best rum that there is. Why did I just forget the name? What's the name of the rum, hun? Oh yeah, but no, it's Select, right? Oh, it's not Bacardi Select. Is it Black or Select? Black. Okay. We used to use Bacardi Select. Apparently, it's now Bacardi Black, and it's Dr. Pepper. Oh, cheers, John. Cheers. I took a step before I did the cheers. I normally do at the end of the day a drink too. Wednesdays are crazy days. Wednesday I do a morning drink, but I always do on Power Hour. I do a toast to the end of the day. So I usually do a cheers at that time. Wednesday mornings are just kind of a her end of the week. Yay. Cheers. Yes, there are shares to loan today, Ryan. All right, I need to take a break, guys. I will be back 15 minutes before market opens. For those of you who are watching down here at the bottom of in the middle of the screen, right here, I do own 5 shares through Webull. It was a test experiment that I did. I wanted to. I've done it on this channel before, where I was trying to show people what it looked like to be a shareholder for DRS or CS computer shareholder. So I do different tests, just kind of testing things out to see, and then I report back to people things. Webull was a test more for myself than anything, but you can see I bought a position of 5 shares for 13.82 a long time ago. That was, I think, before the run up. Yeah, I'm positive that was before the run up in June. Um, uh, I peed in Kenny's pool. I'm sorry, man. Congratulations to you and your success on being sober. I appreciate it. I know that's a struggle. I really do. So I've had struggles in life with addictions. Trust me, man. I come from a family that has very, very strong addictions. And I know exactly what it's like. So, um, but stay strong. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Um, I will see you guys on the other side, or 15 minutes before market starts. See you in a bit. Alrighty, I'm back. Let me refresh the screen and see if it doesn't help at all. I need to come up with a price prediction. Eric sent me, did he send me his? He didn't send me his yet. Eric actually, so Eric's on 3 weeks and 2 days worth of getting price predictions right. He sent me a text. I'm gonna call him out on this one. He sent me a text and said, what did he say? I think my streak might be over. After today, not sure which way I want to go. Uh, I guess I could. I wonder if I could multi-stream. All right, so Eric's going 1785. Eric's going 1785 to 2005. This is for those of you guys who are just joining the channel. I just want to make sure you know that this is not financial advice by any means. It's just simply for apes trying to stay sharp on price predictions. We're betting beers and ice cream. It's just for fun. Don't take it out of context. And I'm by far probably one of the worst of the four. So volume prediction, on the other hand, a little bit different of a story. Let me see here. Although today is going to be really off on volume prediction. Let's see. Price prediction for me. When it got down to about 1856 while I was on my break, I started thinking to myself, you know, they might try to trip that SSR today because it wouldn't be it'd only be like $2 down. Could they try to trigger it really, really quickly on a strong push down and then just let it blow after that? Because I'm expecting like maybe a 10% increase or somewhere between 5 and 10% increase in price today, day over day. So maybe I should just count on that. That's what I'm gonna do, I think. 1826. We'll just do 5%. Minus $1.50. This is such an odd number. All right, here we go. My price prediction for the day. 1760. This is such a weird number. 1767 to 2067. I know it's a weird number. I'm kind of banking on a little bit of a push. I have a feeling they might try to push for that SSR trip and then let it run. I'm guessing on like maybe like a 5 to 10% increase for the day to day, day over day. And so I'm hedging off of that number, which is 1917, and I'm subtracting $1.50 off of it. So my average price would be 1917. It would be that's not right. $1.50. That is right. Yeah, it's $1.50. So 1917 is when yeah. Such a weird number. I've never had a number like this before. This is the very first time. Keto says 1678. We're getting serious now. Keto's saying 1678 to 1978. We got all our numbers in. I'm 1767 to 2067. Eric's 1785 to 2005. Keto says 1678 to 1978, and Monty says 2035 to 2335. By far, Monty's got the highest number. Keto's got the lowest number. Eric and I are kind of riding in the middle. I mean, the title of the show, guys. Look at the title of the show for the day. The great dump. I'm talking about the market. That's why I put a hyphen in there and saying I'm talking about the market, not necessarily AMC and GME. I think that we do go down initially with it, but eventually we start pumping. Gary says 1695 to 1995. You know, at some point, Gary, the funny part about I don't even know if it's funny or not, but the what I feel is like kind of a funny thing is that I feel like we're going to be guessing prices that are within a $300 range. We're going to have to give ourselves like $300 ranges just to try and even come close to getting our price predictions. Once we break $20, once we close above $20, I'm going to give all the guys an extra buck to guess between. I'm not sure how much I'm going to raise it by. Also, I want to mention to you guys that earlier I couldn't remember who it was that had told me about a 5-stroke engine called a hit or miss engine. It was my buddy, Adam, AP who comes on here. He was the one that actually had mentioned it to me, and I had forgotten about it. And I went back and was reading the Suck Squeeze Bang Blow and realizing that he was I had actually given a shout out to him on that. I forgot about it. As rules saying 35 to 38. Yes, Steven, I'm going to change it right now. I like the way you put it so much better. The great market dump. I'm going to change it. I'm changing the name right now. So much better than the way I put it. There we go. The great market dump. Thank you so much. That is, I hate words. I am not a man of words, although I have diarrhea mouth. They go hand in hand, believe it or not. I appreciate it, Steven. I got to do something. I got to fix this really quickly, guys. So bear with me. I've got to put a picture up here and add it. I'm gonna have to delete my background. Mm, Just give me 1 second. I gotta put this. I gotta put this in here. The picture was given to me by um, Ape Father. Oh no. Hope this works. Oh, it does. Hopefully you guys can see the 2 weeks sign that's behind me there. We'll have to fix the picture later. I'll move out. There it is, right there. Right, right. Yeah, get my finger over right there. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and I'm sitting in a movie theater. It's a little grainy, but it works for now. T minus 3 minutes. Thank you. I peed in Kenny's pool, giving me the countdown. We'll get the intro started here in just a minute. Let me take down my I'll be back notice. Legendary's going with 22 to 25. All right, guys, it's that time. I'm going to start the intro. I will see you guys on market after market open.
T-minus 90 seconds and counting. All systems are go. We're about 90 seconds from the launch of Space Shuttle Discovery. T-minus 60 seconds and counting. We are transferring to orbiter internal power at this time. Discovery is now running off its 3 onboard fuel cells. Coming up on a go for auto sequence start. And we have a go for auto sequence start. Discovery's onboard computers have primary control of all the vehicle's critical functions. T-minus 17 seconds and counting. 15, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, start, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, returning to the space station, paving the way for future missions beyond.
Separation confirmed. Guidance now converging. Discovery's onboard computers commanding the main engine nozzles to swivel, aiming the shuttle for its precise target in space for main engine cutoff.
Should have a good forward link now at SM.
Okay, you sound good.
Discovery Houston, negative return.
Copy, negative return.
Good morning, you filthy apes. Welcome to AMC and ADD, where we buy, we hold, and we screw the hedgies. Screw them. Good morning. Good morning to all of you guys who are joining in. The volume is looking absolutely sweet, sweet as can possibly be. That is some impressive volume. I mean, we still have like 23 more minutes before I normally even start to check what our volume paces are like, but I've got to just run some numbers here real fast and just kind of see. I mean, I know this isn't going to make any sense and it's going to be way off, but I'm just kind of curious here. Let's see, we're 7 minutes into trading. Let's see what we got. Based on the numbers that I just ran, we're on a pace for 702 million shares traded for the day. It's going to come down, guys. It's going to come down. Let's take a look at some of these volume minutes here. The very first minute we had 3.8 million shares, 1.1 the next. Most of these are in the 700 to 1 million shares a minute traded. These last 3 minutes here, 1.1, 1.16, 1.18, and 1.3 million shares having been traded. The number is going to come down, guys. My estimate for the day, prediction for the day today is 190 to 220 million shares traded. That's kind of the number I'm looking for based off of pre-market volume. So those numbers will definitely come down. We'll have to see how low it is that they can get these numbers to. So far, volume just pretty much increasing. Are they going to be able to get us down to SSR today? We need to set up the number here. 1643. Where is that number? All my numbers are gone. Where's it at? Where's my number? 16. There it is, right there. This is SR. The dotted line is SSR trip levels. We're going to put that right up at 1643. Right there. That is SSR trip levels. Yesterday, 1750 was a number that we wanted to break through. 1850 was another number that we wanted to break through to kind of see like a completion of a multi-day potential move. Let's see if I can get rid of all this stuff again. Let's get rid of the Bollinger. So we were looking, 1850 was what we were looking for yesterday, which I felt was like kind of, this would have been the top right here. 1850, 1875-ish. You can see that there was definitely some kind of retracement at 19-ish dollars. 1875 to $19 right there is a little bit of retracement, and then it continued to spike upwards. If this were kind of like a cup and handle type shape right here, which it's dirty if it is, it would have to probably come back down to around, well, at least 1712. It may never make it there though. It just depends on volume and how violent, how much FOMO buying is going into where we're moving to. I do have a lot of Fibonacci retracements in here that are kind of dirty and I'd like to clean them up. I'm not going to right now. Maybe later today I'll clean those up a little bit, but it does look like our next level of resistance is at $19.70. We are breaking through the top portion of the Bollinger Band here, which is definitely getting a lot of volatility showing. Just before market open, we hit a TD9, which shows a possible trend reversal, and we did do the trend reversal on market open, and then they immediately started pushing price down. Still unable to get volume. These 2 minutes right here were under 1 million shares a minute. We've had a couple of minutes like that in here, but there still are some, we're still printing some 1.3 million share minutes. The goal or the objective usually in the first portion of the market, of the opening of the market of the day, is to reduce volume. That's normally the first goal that they had down to about 60,000 shares a minute. Good luck with that today. The wife made this drink strong today. If I start slurring words, it's the drink. It's good. Let's see what you guys are writing here. Alan says positive comments only. I'm telling you, Alan, historically speaking, we have to trip SSR just before we run. AMC did it twice. They did it both in January and June, and GME did it before its run in January. So at some point, SSR is going to need to trip. It's going to be like a knee-jerk reaction to price discovery. They'll push it down to trip SSR, and then it will absolutely just start running like crazy after that. They have to create synthetics to reduce the amount of pressure that there is in liquidity. When there's no liquidity in the market, they've got to start creating it. They got to push it down. So my feeling is what we're going to do is we're probably going to close up today some portion. I don't know how much, but whatever we do end up closing at, we may not see too much after hour or pre-market trading, because I do feel like tomorrow is going to be the day where they try to trip SSR. And actually, I'm just reading what somebody wrote in here. AMC Panda says pre is always a hit job. So you can imagine whatever we close at today, if we see downwards price movement in the pre-market, like say for tomorrow, and they basically open us up like 5% down from the closing price of whatever it is today, then it would be real easy for them to just run it down 5%, trip that SSR, and let it absolutely run. Mock is asking how PLTR is. I can pull up that data. I don't have a problem. When you guys wanted me to just check data, that's not a problem. What I don't like is when people ask when they just throw out a stock. If you want me to check something and see how it's looking and you just want data, not a problem. I do not mind giving that at all. It looks very similar to what AMC is kind of doing, a little bit without the huge rips. They're getting some pretty good, decent volume as well. GME is already up 13.44%. AMC is up 8.6%. We got about 16 minutes left before I do technical analysis.